building a server for $600, or building virtualization server nodes with the next unit of computing. All that and more this time on Hak5. This episode of Hak5 is brought to you by Domain.com.
Hello, welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morris.
It's your weekly dose of Technolust.
Welcome over. We have a show and tell show for you today.
Yes, we do. Ooh, we are starting the first step of, I guess the first step was really getting bandwidth, but now that we have like all of the bandwidth, the first step in building this fully operational hacking station.
We're building an army.
Yes, we are. And we would like to invite you to it. But let's talk about servers. You just recently built a computer on...
I did. So I built my new gaming PC on TechThing, and it was basically a $1,500 budgeted computer for 2015. So not everything on the high end, like that brand new like GeForce GTX Titan or whatever it's called, but you know, really nice stuff that I can get through with gaming. It was fun times.
So I figured we're going to do something similar. In fact, for that budget, we should almost be able to eke out 3 different servers in our cluster. I know, almost, cheating just a bit. It's kind of amazing how commodity these things have become and how inexpensive it's how easy it is. You may remember actually it was season 7, I think, that we built our last server, and now we're going to do it again because a lot has changed since season 7. Okay. So Shannon, I would like to introduce you. In fact, this right here is the first.
That's a Roku.
No, yes, exactly. It is a Roku. No, this is this is the first node in our cluster. In fact, we've been using it on Hak5 for a couple of weeks now. Our Friendica server runs on this. Our Jitsi server runs on this. A few of the other test builds that I do have been residing on this machine, and it is about to get wiped and turned into the master of our virtualization cluster. So next week we're going to get into the software, setting up Zen servers, setting up clusters. But this right here, yeah, it does. It looks like a Roku.
It does. So this is called the Intel. Is it NUC or NUC?
It's NUC.
NUC?
It's NUC.
So it's not like...
It's not like the...
It's not like Barnes & Noble NUC?
No, that's very confusing. We've already made that mistake once.
So what is it?
Well, Intel's calling it the next unit of computing, and essentially it's a bare bones PC.
It's awful small.
And it's basically, you've got a motherboard, you've got a CPU, you've got a nice little case, and that's about it. But that's halfway there already. I mean, really all you need to do to these guys are add some RAM, and they take laptop memory, and add a hard drive. In this case, solid state drive, they take the M.2 form factor of SSDs.
Weird. So I guess it's cool because it's small and compact, and I guess it's easy to build. Yeah,
kind of ridiculously easy. In fact, why don't you go ahead and bust one of these bad boys out.
Do you have your knife on you? I don't have my knife.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, good. Thank you.
That's a knife.
Appreciate it.
I had to get a replay. Did I tell you about the Domain.com stuff? Oh my gosh, the Domain.com guys were down here partying with us as they do.
As they do.
Yes, and
just gonna dirty up the studio.
I won't get into the bender too much, but we had so much fun, and I lost my hat. So thankfully, I was able to get a quickie replacement for the people asking at home.
Oh, their box is so cute.
It's a Barma Squashy.
Look at it, it's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my thing. Aww.
In fact, it used to be that this particular NUC, the first generations at least, when you would open it, they actually had like a sensor that would make it go da-na-na-na. Actually, it wouldn't do that noise. That's from Zelda. It would do the Intel dun 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 dun.
Oh. Like
so both of these are almost identical. I do want to label that one, however, because that is the i7 model, and this is the i5 model. So let's not get that too confused.
Unboxing. Oh, it came with a sticker. Here, I'll just put the sticker on it.
Oh, perfect. We'll do that
instead of
instead
i7 sticker.
Yeah. Otherwise, you know, for any good network closet, get yourself a labeler.
Here, I'll put it on the back. There. Okay.
Ooh, pretty. So the next step is really to just crack this guy open. So this is a really cool aspect of it. NUCs come with VESA mounts, so if you just want to mount it to the back of a television, so that's kind of cool.
Found its plug.
Here you are.
Thanks.
And I'll go ahead and do the same. And I know what you're thinking, like how is this going to be a server?
Yeah, kind of. Well, every time I look at a server, it's huge, and it's in this gigantic server rack, and there's like a million of them, and there's tons of hard drives. So how does this work?
Well, we're really going for like lightweight
Okay.
on these server builds, inexpensive. We're really trying to get something like standardized components.
Yeah.
We could, in fact, do the fun thing that is building a $2,000 server. I think that's exactly what we did in Season 7.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot's changed since then, so we may, in fact, do that as well.
So can I upgrade things in here, like the RAM, the CPU, stuff like that?
This is it. Like what we're doing right now is it. You know, in fact,
So we can obviously upgrade, the hard drive eventually, or the solid state and the RAM.
that's pretty much it. That's
Okay.
and that's why this feels like I'm cheating, because the last time we got a bare bones server case, and then we got ourselves a motherboard, RAM. We set up a RAID card, and popped in all the hard drives, and set up like all of the stuff for an ESXi server. And now I feel like we're cheating almost because there's nothing to build here, but to put in.
Can you do a
The
RAID?
SSD. Look at this SSD, by the way. This is just ridiculous. It literally looks like a stick of RAM. Yeah, that's it.
hilarious.
That's the hard drive.
It's not a piece of candy?
Yeah, no, you can't eat it,
Aw.
Shannon.
Man.
Should mention these have Wi-Fi built in, which is kind of cool.
Okay, why can't I get this roof off of it?
Oh, just pull it right straight off. There you go. So, here you go.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Yep. And so the thing about these, move that over there, and you can see, is the plate just comes off, and these are the tall versions that have a slot for a regular sized 2.5-inch solid state drive.
Okay.
And so
Cool.
there's the SATA connector there for that. Otherwise, here's the M.2 connector for the hard drive.
Over in the corner? Okay.
Yes. So all you really do is take this, wedge
Oh
it
my
in
God,
there,
That's so weird.
and push it down, and you're done. That's installing the hard drive.
It's totally like installing RAM.
Yeah, it exactly is. I really do feel like I'm cheating. But there's a huge advantage to using NUCs over these massive servers, because we've built those in the past.
Because it's small.
Right,
It
because
doesn't
it's
take
small,
up a lot of room.
it's cheap, it's light, we can stack them up, we can
You probably don't need a
migrate.
whole room of air conditioning for it, or do you?
They're very not only are they very cool, but they're actually very low power. In fact, our server, our Friendica server right here, this is running like 4 virtual machines right now. And as you can see, we've got it connected to a Watts
Wow.
Up. And we're using what? Something like 8.5 watts? That's it.
So it has a 6-watt idle, 33-watt max load, and 18-watt average.
Basically. In fact, I would say the 18-watt average, well, our web server, you know what, Ethernet's not plugged in, so it's not like our web server is getting any hits right now. But, an average load, I've seen it around 18 watts, which is kind of ridiculous when you consider that normally a server, we pop in like a 500-watt power supply.
Yeah.
And sure, it may not be maxing at 500 watts, but it is much less. In fact, this is the power supply. It's just a little brick. It's just like a laptop power brick.
And how much does this thing cost?
That's kind of the beauty of this. Each of these servers is, let's see, the first one I built, this is an i5 5th gen with 16 gigs of RAM and a 250 gig hard drive, and that guy ran $600.
Wow.
The one you're building is another i5 with 16 gigs of RAM and a 250 gig.
Okay.
Another $600. You can actually do the same build for $500 if you get a 4th gen i5 instead of a 5th gen.
Jeez.
And then the i7 will run you an extra $100. So anywhere between $500 and $700. I will say, however, there are a lot of limitations when you go this route. Sure, you get the ton less power usage, power requirements. You get the benefits of it being quiet and good thermals and all of that. But you're not really going to be able to upgrade the CPU, and you're not going to be able to upgrade the RAM past well, right now, 16 gigs is the most that I can get, right? 2 8-gig sticks.
Oh, really? Okay, so that's the max that you can do right now, because that's what's available.
Right. It only has 2 slots, and you're not going to find
There's nothing bigger than that.
16 gig DIMMs. So, actually, SO-DIMMs.
So dim.
So dim. Yep.
Oh, dorky of this.
And that
Okay.
those guys just pop in like any other laptop.
All right, so show me how to pop this in.
Mm-hmm.
I have never used one of these. Oh, is it over there in that corner?
Pop this guy down here. And you can see those slots at the bottom.
Yeah.
Those are the RAM slots. And all you do is take one of these guys and wedge it in sideways. Like that. And then you push it down.
Oh, you clicky
And then you
clicky.
can just hit these little eject guys and they pop right out.
Wow, that's
So,
really cool.
There you go. I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay, and then the solid state goes in over here.
Yep. So I'll show you the solid state. So again, just like RAM, it just wedges in. So you pop that guy in its little home, and then you push that down. In this case, there's an
so
actual
cute.
screw we'll have to
Oh,
unscrew.
yeah,
It doesn't
I
have a
see.
little snap guy,
Okay.
but that's not so bad. When the first one came in, Patrick
Oh,
Norton and
yeah.
I were geeking out, and we built it in maybe 5 minutes, which is kind of ridiculous. And then I just felt weird, you know, like I remember my first computer
You're
taking
like,
forever.
okay, I'm done.
Yeah, it was so anticlimactic,
Yeah.
you know. But what's so beautiful about this is because they are so inexpensive, and because we're going to be using open source virtualization servers, it means that we'll just be able to continue adding to our cluster, which means that, you know, for $500, $600, $700, we can build another node in our cluster and immediately
So you can keep building on top of it.
add more virtual servers. Yeah, we can continue to have more and more computing resources just as we like add more to the cluster.
So can you do a RAID with this?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be
So
nice.
if you want a RAID, you can't use one of these.
If you want a RAID, well, actually, in this particular scenario, since we're going to be using open source virtualization server, you know, you could use VMware, you could use ESXi, you could
Yeah.
use any of those. We're going to be using Zen. I think it's really ideal for Zen.
What is Zen?
Zen
Other
is.
than what I feel when I go to Hawaii.
Yes, yeah, should have asked you about that. Ask you after the break. But the Zen is an open source hypervisor, right? Similar to KVM or OpenVZ or some of the other technologies that we've talked about in the past. And it's just super simple. Mubix turned me on to it. We'll get more into it and why in the next segment when we set up the software. But essentially, it's a really robust open source virtualization system that will allow us to run many servers on these virtual systems. And then that will allow us to actually, you know, host tons of different things like gaming servers and shells and whatever else that we want to run on these. You know, all of our stuff that we've been playing with so far, like Friendica, have been running on these. And what's nice is it allows for live migration. So we could have, say, the Friendica server could be running on this physical piece of hardware.
Yeah.
And then over the network, live while everything is running, if we needed to load balance some resources, we could move it over to this one, move it over to that one. Say we needed to do some service on this. We're going to upgrade the RAM in it.
Right.
We could move all of
You
the
could just
virtual
move.
machines from this one to these two, then power it down, add more RAM, power it back up, and move things around again.
Okay, that's cool.
And as far as like a NAS, yeah, okay, or sorry, not a NAS, a RAID, we don't have the ability inside this tiny box to put a RAID. There's just the M.2 SATA connector and
Right.
a regular SATA connector. But there's no RAID controller on the board, so maybe you could bake it in software, but I wouldn't. Rather, since it does have gigabit Ethernet, we could just hook it up to a NAS, like this Synology.
Yes, like this ginormous thing that's been sitting in front of me.
I love those things. For the for like a small, you know, for a small office network, I think is perfect. And I think these are really great just because of the scalability. Because it's not a major
heavy.
investment to get the first node going. It's like $500, $600, $700, and you've got your first node. You fill it up, and as soon as you filled it up, okay, we'll just add another node to the cluster, right? It's a lot
That's
less
cool.
than that major investment of getting yourself, you know, building or buying a giant pizza box, a giant 3U
Yes.
rack mount guy with all of the hard drives and the RAID and all of that. And so it's a little bit of a trade-off, but I think some of the benefits, especially the power, are pretty huge.
Okay, so I got my solid state and my hard drive in, or my solid state and my RAM in.
That's it. That's a computer. It's like done and done.
Cool.
I'm done over here.
Okay,
We,
so
so that's it. Just
there's
close
so
it up.
many different Server systems that you can use, why did you choose Zen over everything else?
Well, to be honest, I really wanted to, in my heart, deep in my heart, Shannon, I love KVM and OpenVZ. Those are two open source virtualization technologies that really stand out. And I can't find a good front end. And I know I'm going to get tons of comments and emails about this. I can't find a front end that I am truly in love with yet.
I can understand
So when that changes, if somebody, if that's, I'm not committed to Zen, but I do like it so far. Mubix, it was highly recommended by Mubix. It was just so easy to get going so quickly with it that for the ease of use side, I kind of love it. There's some downfalls with Zen, like it doesn't have a really good management interface. It doesn't have one over the web, and it doesn't have a nice one for Linux.
Okay.
In fact, there's kind of some hacks to make that, so we'll have to go into those. There's some open source alternatives, but nothing like as full featured. So it's a little bit Windows centric, which definitely takes some points away in my book.
Yeah.
But then again, I figure that this is really this is perfect for that small office, right?
Yeah.
That small to medium-sized business that needs to get some server resources going and doesn't need to spend a lot of money and may already be a Windows shop.
Okay.
And this is something that you could, sell your boss on because you only need like $500, and then boom, you can show them the virtues of virtualization servers with open source software. And maybe that could be the first step into a direction that's freed from the tyranny of Microsoft or things of that nature.
I scratched up the top. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it. These are all going to get stacked up. In fact, where did it go?
This little piece right here?
Yeah. I should probably mention, this is a failed 3D print.
Yeah.
Patrick Norton and I have been fighting with the Robo 3D. Everything was working great until we started tinkering and taking things apart.
Patrick moved it. It's his fault.
Yeah, it totally...
You can email him and say stop working.
Don't throw him under the bus. We're going to get it fixed. But essentially, when it's all said and done, we'll be able to 3D print these. This is just like a few layers of it that sit like this, and then the next server, and then print another, and then the next server.
It's like Tetris!
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's like, is that not the coolest thing? And then you can you could even pop this in a Pelican case and take it anywhere. We're going to be doing, we're going to be using these for pen tests with Hak5. The training that Sebastian and Mubix and I are doing here in the Hak5 warehouse. And if we want to take it on the road and do it in Virginia or something, we could just, take a Pelican case full of all of our labs and stuff over to anywhere.
Yeah.
It's great. I should mention, though, major caveat, if you haven't already seen, I'll fling this guy around. There's something missing back here.
Oh, yeah.
So you do get USB3.
Yeah.
You do get a nice little HDMI and display port, so you could run 2 monitors off this. You only get a single Ethernet.
No!
It is gigabit, but there's only one.
There's Ethernet USB things.
Yeah, that's actually what I've been using on the server.
One of those things.
Right, because I need it to be on 2 different LANs here,
Yeah.
and that was just like the easiest way to go about it. So, there's
always
that.
going to be caveats when it comes to price points.
Right.
Especially that low.
But what's so beautiful about this, and I think this is really the point that I should have started with, is that when it comes down to your dollars per machine in your virtualization, right? I think the NUC really wins. Now it has all of those pitfalls we've talked about, but when it comes to being able to quickly deploy something and add on to it as you get, another $500, more servers, another $500, more servers, right? We can. If we divide this up, since it's got an i7 and 16 gigs of RAM and a 250 gig SSD, that gives us something like what? We could have 16 virtual machines. Well, we could have 16 virtual machines with a gig of RAM each. That would have whatever 256 gigabytes divided by 16 is, 32 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage and a gig. So we could run 16 VMs off this. And here's the thing. Well, we can't run more RAM on it right now. It may, in fact, be that we're more CPU limited, right? Because by the time we're running 16 VMs on this anyway, we've kind of capped out the CPU.
Yeah.
And what's beautiful about that is we can say, great, we have a good utilization of this box. Now when we want to add more, we just get another box.
Yeah.
And if we need
That's
to load
pretty
balance,
cool.
we can live migrate them around.
Okay. I'm down.
Yeah.
Now, I know you've used this for a while, so would you say that the performance is good?
I mean, the performance is as good as any other i7. has been my experience. I don't think it's ever going to compete with, an actual Xeon-based dual processor, 4U behemoth.
Yeah.
But as far as the price per VM,
Okay.
I think it does pretty fair. I'd love to hear
Cool.
what you guys think. So hit us up, feedback@hak5.org, or just leave a comment below and let us know. What do you guys think about running the servers? Especially for small business and home servers, I think it's perfect. And the price is great. So let me know what you guys think, or if you think that I'm cheating. If you think I'm cheating by just using NUCs, you let me know. I can handle it. It's okay. People call me out for wearing hats indoors. I can deal with that too.
That's true.
With that, we're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, more fun stuff. Oh, and a gift from a fan. Ooh. Be right back. If you've watched Hak5 for a while, you know that we love domain.com, and I can't begin to tell you what a fun place to do business they are and how awesome the crew is. They were actually just here in the Hak5 warehouse, and we were all conspiring all of these epic new projects for the summer. We've got so many fantastic things happening. I believe we're going to be doing a few open houses with drone racing, so stay tuned to that. And it all ties in with this epic idea where domain.com told me about the new TLD that is .club. It is so great because so many cool things can be built on it, and I have to say, just so many ridiculous ideas for cool stuff you could do. It's the perfect TLD, right? Because it's universally understood, it's global, not just here in the United States. And if you're building a new business or naming your startup, it's kind of perfect. I mean, really, the internet is all about being social, and any business could be social and community-based, and a club is just that. It's all about collaboration. So it's kind of perfect for especially what we're doing. So get ready for a lot of Hak5 and .club this summer. And in the meantime, when you're thinking about building your next website, think about that .club. You can get one over at domain.com/club. So register your .club. They're starting over at $9.99, and there are thousands of amazing opportunities still available. So grab yours, and you know what? Make sure when you're at domain.com, use the coupon code HAK5. That's going to save you 15%, and let the domain.com guys know that we sent you. And you know what? If you're registering yourself at .com, go ahead, or even at .club, in fact, go ahead and tweet me at Hak5Darren and let us know, and we'll send you guys some mad props and some love your website way. 548 Market Street, yada yada yada. The link is over at hak5.org, is where you can send us mail. And Shannon, you got a letter. We got a gift from a. I love it when we. Whatever. It's to both of us.
Kitchen.
It's to both of us here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Stickers! Yay!
Yeah.
We have stickers for the thing.
I'll go ahead and
sorts
get
of
into this
stickers.
guy.
Oh, I have one of
This
these.
is from James Freestone. And James says, "Hi, Darren and Shannon. Mustn't forget Paul, the one who does all the hard work, really. Your wish is my command. Please find the enclosed some stickers for the wall." All the way from the UK.
Ban me.
Wait, what?
It says I hack. Ban me. Stop laughing.
Keep up the
Computers are
good work
cool now.
as an InfoSec professional. It's great to see ThreatWire back.
Cool.
And it's well worth the Patreon
Yay!
contribution. Thank you, James, for supporting our Patreon.
Yes,
if you guys
thank
aren't
you.
aware, ThreatWire is where 3 times a week Shannon and Patrick Norton and myself are digesting the InfoSec news and bringing you security, privacy.
Can I just mention
Internet
how
freedom.
much news has happened in the past 3 days? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep this show to 5 minutes so that it's really quick and really easy and really fast for your brain to eat. But gosh, there were so many things. So I put links in the show notes for the Wednesday episode of ThreatWire, and you can find that at youtube.com/Hak5.
Yeah, in fact, there's a
Tons of
lot of
stories.
people on the what is there? There's a Google Plus group.
Yeah.
So a lot of people involved. And there's always way more than we can even cover. But yeah.
The Patreon for that is patreon.com/ThreatWire.
It's a totally different world now from when we started Hak5 10 years ago, and I'm so happy to be doing that. So thank you, James, for
Yes,
the stickers.
thank you.
Let's we'll get some of those on the wall for next week.
Yep.
If you'd like to send stickers, you can find the address on hak5.org. You'll also find all of the other shows like ThreatWire I'd mentioned, and Shannon's Tech Thing. If you want to see that game client
I wish.
build. We'll call them game clients from now on. Yeah, her
game
gaming
client.
rig.
Yeah, and you can find everything over at hak5.org/follow, as well as feedback@hak5.org. That's where you can always email us your questions, comments, and whatnot. Also, I would like to mention Hack Shop, which is where you can get all the cool goodies that we've been, selling in our little merchandise store. So definitely check that out. And I think we should mention some community fun times that we're going to be involved in.
Oh, yes, that's right. We're opening up the roll-up door.
Yeah, we're going to be
getting the barbecue
having
out.
some open warehouse events.
Open houses.
Inviting
sure.
people over. Open houses. Open warehouse.
Open Hack House.
Open Hack House.
Open Hack
Aw,
House, yes.
That's so old school.
With open source and open goodness.
So if you have Yingling and you want to come over,
Shit, you can come over even if you don't have Yingling. But we will drink your beer.
you're welcome to come by.
Yes.
And yeah, so we'll have some open houses inviting
Open to
people
all
over
ages.
just to hang out.
Yeah, we're going to
have
be
some fun.
building a bunch of stuff. We've got some other projects that are in the works that we would love to show you. We have a gun range with open source software that calculates shots. It's going to make it for a great segment, but it's not done yet, but we would love to show you. And I don't know, bring your 22. Air rifles, no firearms in the warehouse. Anyway, we've got lots of fun things going with
Let's
that.
tell them about labs.
Labs are so near and dear to my heart. Oh my gosh. We did a little bit of lab stuff back in like season 2 or 3, but nothing like this. We finally have the resources. We're building a cluster. I can't wait to see this thing like
a cluster.
for the owner. Wow, we are really off the rails this episode. I need to get serious for a moment, Shannon.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to turn to my B cam.
Okay.
Okay, it's going to be like, whoosh. I would cordially like to invite you to the Hak5 Labs, a place where you can experiment and have fun with shells and virtual servers, a place where you can roam free in cyberspace. Maybe you've got ideas for Tor nodes. Maybe you've got ideas for open source social networks or other fun Minecraft-y things. Well, if that's the case, if you like to tinker, then labs at hak5.org, we're getting it all set up. Is that a mustache?
No.
Okay. I feel the love, Shannon. Just email labs@hak5.org. We've got some people from IRC that have already signed up to host, for instance, the Minecraft server.
Yes.
And it would be amazing if you guys would also like to do other cool things, since we have resources that we are bringing online. If you want a virtual machine to just play around with here, it would be a lot of fun. We're going to be setting up a wiki. We're going to be finding ways where we can just build cool stuff together, because I know not everyone can make it out to Point Richmond outside San Francisco, California for the open house meetups. So if you
I'm
can't,
excited about
you can
that.
be here virtually, right?
I can't wait to play some Minecraft because I never have before and it sounds fun.
It goes along with all the live streaming, rigs being rebuilt right now, as well as IRC and all the other good stuff. So labs@hak5.org if you have ideas for servers you would like to run here.
Next week, we're going to build a server,
Yes.
the software side.
Yes. We're going to get into Zen Server and setting up your very first cluster, setting it up with a NAS so you can build machines, and all sorts of good stuff. So stay tuned, youtube.com/hak5, hak5.org. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for all of your support over 10 years. If you're going to be at DEF CON, we will see you there celebrating. We'll be the ones with little birthday hats.
Birthday presents for 10-year-olds are accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, honey.
All right.
I'm going to keep that going.
Wow. With all of that, I'm Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
Trust your
Trust your
technolust.
Trust your technolust.
Can we change it
First.
after 10 years?
No, that's our thing.
We stole it.
Duh.
Easter egg.